My peak experiences triangle is an indispensable tool for enabling you to work out what really satisfies you in your life or your work in order that you can take corrective action. If you're a manager, this is a great tool for improving performance and engagement within your team and identifying where your team may be held back because members of your team aren't doing enough of what really engages them. This is an explanation of how to use it. So to begin, you want to consider the main tasks and activities which occupy your time over a given period, say the past week or fortnight, or those that apply to your life or job most of the time. You want to rate those tasks for how engaging you find them on a scale of 1 to 10 using the vertical axis. This is subjective, but a possible way in which you could rate your tasks is as follows. So from 0 to 2, these are likely to be activities that you strongly dislike doing. From 2 to 5, these are going to be activities that you tolerate doing. You accept that you can't always do activities that you're going to find engaging. Life isn't like that. These could be things like admin at work, or it could be, household chores or something like that. From 5 to 10, you're now in the engagement zone. And I've given these a hierarchy. And I would suggest that, say, from 5 to 7, these are likely to be activities which are of a low level of engagement. And you nevertheless find them engaging because they're energizing to you. You notice when you're doing these tasks, they give you energy. Outside of work, running, I don't know about you, but running is something that gives me energy, but I don't find it particularly engaging. Unlike kayaking, I find kayaking engaging. So moving on to something of a medium level of engagement between 7 and 9, that would be how you might rank your activities which you find really engaging. What do I mean by that? These are going to be things that motivate you, that really involve you, that capture attention, that you really want to be doing. And then from 9 and 10, these are like to be activities which are really highly engaging to you, where you experience a sense of flow. Now, a flow has been defined as sort of engagement on steroids. This is where you're so involved with the task that you lose a track of time when doing them. They are really, really the top for you. So you're really going to enjoy these tasks. Okay, so from 5 to 10, these type of tasks. Flow, engagement, and energy. What does that give you? Phlenergy! You want more phlenergy in your life because it will make you happy. The more phlenergy you get, the happier you will be, the more satisfied you will be in your job or your life. So anything from 5 to 10, you want to be doing more of if you can. So when you've decided how engaging a task is, you now want to rate it for how well it accords with what you feel you should be doing, your purpose or your calling. Where 5 is highest, where you think, well, I was really born to do this activity, and 1 is the lowest. And if you're not sure what your purpose or calling is, then perhaps go with what you like doing most of all, or perhaps where you're the kind of things that you're strongest at. Now, these type of activities are likely to cluster around the top, aren't they? They are therefore going to be at the peak of the triangle. These are going to be your peak experiences. And the very best, they'll be, very peak experiences are going to be from 7 to 10 on the engagement scale. And they're going to fall somewhere between sort of 3 and probably about 4 and 5 on the scale for purpose and calling. And you can use either side of the triangle. Anything that is less, and they're going to be more satisfying, they're going to be scored between 10 and 15 to you, yeah, in terms of the total score. Now, anything that is at the opposite end of that is going to be and less satisfying. Is going to score between a 2 and a 5, and they're going to be at the basis of the triangle, yeah. So they're going to score between 2 and a 5, or a 3 and a 9. They're going to be at the base of the triangle. So overall, the kind of activities that you find most satisfying and align with your purpose and calling are going to be around the top of the triangle, and they're going to be likely to be the things you're best at. they're going to be where your strengths are, and those are going to likely to diminish as you get further down in terms of engagement, because you're less likely to have strengths doing things that you just don't enjoy doing or just about tolerate doing. Okay, so that is how you can use the triangle. Now I want to give you 3 examples just that I've made up as to which show you the different ways the peak experiences triangle can work for you. And I'm going to begin with Dave. Now Dave is a sales manager. He manages a team of salespeople. Okay, so this is how he's completed his peak experiences triangle. Just have a look at that for a moment. You've got training of his team members right at the top. They score a maximum of 15 for him. Then below that, leading team meeting, team member one-to-ones, and then further down, or just further away from that, you've got sales strategies, business opportunities, meetings with marketing in grey, reports to a director's team, and right at the bottom of the left-hand side there, could be the right-hand side, doesn't matter. This is just how he's used the space. You've got team admin. Okay, so one of the advantages of using the triangle, and this is how it's been designed, is that you can estimate the amount of hours you spent doing those activities. So this is what Dave's done. He's estimated the time he spent on these activities for the previous week, and he has totted those up using a sort of traffic light colours to indicate the kind of activities that he finds really very engaging, sort of moderately engaging, and the red is sort of some more tolerable stuff, and the stuff in fact he dislikes doing, like the team admin. That's only, thankfully for him, that's only 2 hours. Now I do appreciate that you wouldn't have to use the peak experiences triangle to do this. You could do a table. Okay, so this is a table using a sample of the activities that comprise Dave's week. But there are many advantages to using the peak experiences triangle, as I think you'll see shortly. Okay, so and particularly in terms of the distribution of the tasks, and this is how it can work for you. So, for example, in Dave's instance, you've got he's identified that the tasks that he finds most engaging and is most satisfied doing are these ones here. They're right, and they give him about 9. He spends about 9 hours of his time doing them, 3 hours of which are doing a peak experiences for him, and the rest fall into these categories of where he's engaged and reasonably satisfied, and the grey and the red, not very engaged or satisfied, or not engaged at all or satisfied. Now this would be of particular interest to you if you're his manager, because people's performance tends to drop off when they're doing more of the activities which don't engage or satisfy them, or aren't aligned to what they feel they should be doing in their life. And particularly for Dave, what completing this triangle has done for Dave is that it's revealed something really quite interesting to him. Okay, so what it's revealed to him is that he's the most highly engaged and satisfied doing these kind of activities of training his teammates and leading team meeting, team members, and one-to-ones. But actually the stuff where he's less engaged, and less aligned with his calling, are some of the stuff which is really core to sales, which is working on sales strategies and researching business opportunities. He's only scored those total a 9 and a 10, as you can see in the yellow. So what this has enabled him to conclude is that he is spending too much time on low engagement tasks, i.e. rated 5 and below, and not enough on high engagement tasks. All of these involve human interaction. In fact, he is most engaged and indeed in flow when he is training people in sales. So it would therefore be worth exploring ways to get more opportunities to train or even steer his career towards learning and development, because he didn't realize that actually the core sales stuff, it's not really what he wants to be doing so much anymore. Okay, so this is an example of Dave's sales manager. Next example, Helen. She is an accountant for one of the big 4 accountancies. This is how she's completed her triangle. What do you notice about this? Look at that. She has divided the triangle between work on the left side and home and leisure, non-work activities on the right. You can do this. It's one of the big advantages of the peak experiences triangle. Just have a quick look at that. You can see it's accounting for all those activities. And the good news for Helen, unlike Dave, is that she is spending at least 40 hours on activities which engage her. wow, that's great. I mean, I'm just accounting for, she's just accounted for the activities that on her work hours. I didn't mean to say that. So, and she's doing quite a lot of work hours, but she's spending about 40 of those hours. She is engaged in what she does, whereas compared to only sort of 4 hours moderately engaged and 6 hours, the stuff that tolerates her. Thankfully, I see she, do dinner with the in-laws, scrapes into tolerates doing. But you look closely at that, and what Helen noticed when she completed that is that actually some of the core work of her accountancy, i.e. preparing the monthly accounts for a major bank and continuing an audit for a global law firm, which comprise about 37 hours, they only score 9 and a 10 respectively. Okay, they are like way, they're a 1 out of 5 in terms of where she thinks her purpose and calling is. And what she's noticed is that actually and this is from doing the work outside, particularly from outside of work, which will happen for you as well, probably, or possibly, is that you discover that some of the stuff you do outside of work informs what you do in work. For Helen, this has been that chairing a trustee meeting and advising a small business club friend on HMRC roles. This is stuff that she actually is much closer to what she feels her calling is. And you've got the work with a charity client right at the top. Again, that is where she's getting most of her job satisfaction. What has this done for Helen? It's helped her to realise that whilst she is engaged by her work at the accountancy, most of the firm's big clients conflict with her values, which would be to work for SMEs, charities and B Corps and have a better work-life balance. It would therefore be worth exploring opportunities to join a smaller accountancy firm that works with organisations which align to her values and to sacrifice some of the high earning potential to do what she cares more about. Okay, so that's again a different example from Helen. Third and final example, Neve. She's a busy mum with 2 part-time jobs. She does 20 hours as a cleaner for a cleaning company, and she looks after the family's Airbnb as well as doing all the other stuff. This is how her triangle looks. Again, she's divided between work, home and leisure. And what's interesting about this triangle is that her peak activities, her peak experiences are around supervising, managing, delegating. They are what she enjoys doing and gets most job satisfaction from. Yet she is spending most of her time cleaning other people's offices or looking after the kids, and and the kind of grey stuff, the rest of that comprises 26 hours of her work time, whereas she's only spending 6 hours engaged. So she wants to really reduce that if she can and increase the stuff that she really enjoys doing. And what has completing the triangle revealed to Neve? What it's revealed to her is that her peak experiences are managing and supervising others. Which so she gets this opportunity to manage others, for example, through her team, but it's only minimal. And but she is overstretched by all the other responsibilities she has, especially the menial tasks, which she doesn't enjoy. They're not allowing Neve to develop her natural strengths and perform to her potential. So it would therefore be worth seeking opportunities to develop and exercise her natural management abilities at the cleaning firm or elsewhere, and to delegate more of her housework to the family or to even get a cleaner. So again, this is another example of how the peak experiences triangle can work and can tease some of these things out in a way that other tools won't. Okay, so that's the end of those examples for individuals. One finally to know, if you're a manager of a team, you could use this for your team. So for example, you could get all the team together, you could use color post-its, print the triangle out big or draw it on a flip chart, and get your team to identify what the activities which they find most engaging, they find and the least engaged by, which are going to indicate you to you as a manager, where there may be falls or drop off in performance and where people aren't really satisfied. And that could be and you could also sort of add in the times for that. So this is a great way for you as whether you're a manager or a team to tease out where some of these issues that may lie into that may be holding the team back. Okay, so hopefully that has given you a really thorough understanding of how to use my peak experiences triangle and what it can do for you. If you'd like to get hold of a peak experiences triangle, very simple. You can download it completely free off my website, www.headspacecoaching.co.uk. Download it, use it, find out how you as an individual or your team can get more full energy, whether you're a mum, a manager, a coach, whoever you are. This is going to be of great benefit to you. Head to my website, download it. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. I would be fascinated to find out. So Peak Experience of Triangle, headspacecoaching.co.uk, and I hope that's really useful to you. Thank you ever so much for watching this, and have a great day.